Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to my channel. Before this video starts, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and all that stuff. And let's go ahead and get straight into performance. Actually, before I get into the performance, I need to thank Gaft Academy for shouting me out in one of his videos. You're an awesome guy, buddy. Keep going on with your tricks. Gaft Academy is basically just him doing a bunch of gimmick card tricks. That's what his specialty is. And so yeah, go subscribe to him. The link to his channel will be in the description if you're interested in his channel. So let's go ahead and get straight into the trick. So the spectator could shuffle these cards up all they wanted, and whenever they're done, it really doesn't matter because they're not choosing a card in this trick. In this case, there's really no reason to shuffle the cards because this is a story, like I said. So this is the King of Spades. The King of Spades is a very evil king, and he ruled his people. These are his people. Let's say these cards are his kingdom, the people he ruled. He was a terrible king. He was always alone, as you can see. His castle. He is completely alone in his castle. I know it's kind of hard for the camera, but trust me, it's empty. And he was always alone in his castle, the King of Spades was. Okay? So, always alone, had no friends, and he did a terrible job ruling. Like, he was a terrible ruler. Okay? And I'll show you, like, as you can see, we have this deck of cards here. They're going to represent his kingdom, as I said. And they just got completely mixed up. Like, without a ruler, they had no idea what to do. They didn't know their left from their right or their right from their left. They were just completely mixed up kingdom, as you can see. Some were just out of focus, they didn't know up from down or anything. It was just a complete mess, okay? But then, eventually, all things die, and the King of Spades did die. And his position was taken over by a new king. The King of Hearts then ruled the kingdom. And he did a much better job. And as you can see, the kingdom was restored. And he was a much better king than the King of Spades ever was. So that was the trick, guys, and now how to do it. Okay, guys, so here's the tutorial for the trick you just saw. Now, this is a really cool trick, but it does take a little bit of a gimmick, kind of, I guess. So, you're going to need a blank card, and I'll show you why in a second. But what you're going to do is you're going to take a King of Hearts and a King of Spades. Now, the King of Spades, it's going to be representing the evil king, seeing as how a spade is used to kill people, I guess. And the King of Hearts is going to be the good king, obviously, because heart means love, okay? So, that's kind of, I guess you can do whatever you want, but that's kind of how I like to see it. And you're going to need a deck of cards, a card box, and again, a blank card, okay? So, what you're going to do is you're going to take the King of Hearts and the blank card, and you're going to put them back to back, okay? And this is going to go in the card box, but in a specific way. You're going to open up the card box, and as you can see, the flap here, okay? So there's the flap here. It's usually on the front of the box, but sometimes they're on the back. You're going to put it right here wherever the flap is, okay? So now check this out. If I were to show you, look, the box looks empty. Obviously, you would see this little card, but if I covered this, now, if I just showed this to a spectator, not even have to be like up close, just as long as I'm using this flap to cover those cards, any normal spectator would think that kind of looks empty. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I walk up to someone, it ain't got to be quick. Like, look, you can really look hard in there. But if you just gave them a quick glance, like, look, the box is empty, it would really look empty. And that blank card's making that box look empty. So, after that, so that's basically what you got there. You get your King of Spades, your deck of cards ready to do the trick. Hand the deck over to the spectator to shuffle up the cards. Okay? So, once they're done shuffling up the cards, what you're going to do is, you're going to introduce the king. So you're going to be like, look, we have a king here, the King of Spades, evil king. You're going to kind of, if you want the full pattern, just look back at the performance. But you basically know what to say. This is an evil king. He was a terrible king. And you're going to say, he was always in his castle alone. And that's when you're going to kind of show this empty. Like, look, there was nothing in here except him. Okay? So after you show the box empty, you're going to flip this over. Okay? Be careful. You don't really want the cards to make too much sound. So kind of talk louder than you usually would, just to kind of overlap that sound, okay? It ain't going to be that loud. Just try and do the best you can. Do it slowly so there ain't that much sound. And again, just be trying to talk to cover up that sound. Take the king. It's going to go in the bottom just like that. Now, you're not going to open the box back up. It's just going to go in that flap just about that much, okay? So, in the performance, at the angle I had it, that's a good cover-up. But obviously from this, I'm not going to be able to cover up the angle. So this is pretty much exposed view of what the vanish is going to look like. So you're going to take it, put it in here. And you're going to say, look, the king really was. And you're going to tilt this up as if you're tilting this whole thing up. But what you're really doing is you're pulling this out. And now you basically got it right like this. You're holding it like this, okay? You're holding the king like this. So they think you just had it, stuck it in there. So, you're, like I said, you're going to stick it in here. They think you just stuck it in here, stuck it in the box, and you pick it up, but what you really did was just kind of slip it out. And you want to do the best you can not to make any sound. Again, try and talk a little bit, just kind of overlap that sound. But now you're in this position, okay? And then you're going to square back down. You're going to be like, okay, so he was always in his castle. Bring this back down. And you got this card right here. So you're going to seemingly push it in the box, but actually you're pushing it underneath it. So again, you're going to come here. You're going to just bring it underneath the box, just like that. Okay? So now it's underneath the box. You're going to supposedly be pushing it in the card box, but actually you're just pushing it underneath the card box. So now what you're going to do is you're going to cop the card. If you don't know what a card cop is, I'm going to leave a link in the description where a magician teaches how to do it. So go to his video. He teaches a bunch of palmings, and cop is one of them. If you don't know what cop is, it's basically palming a card. And when usually you would be doing it with a deck of cards to the bottom card, you're just going to be doing it with this card with the card box. So it's a little different, but it's pretty much, you're doing pretty much the same thing. So you're going to cop the card, okay? So go watch that cop. If you know how to cop, fine, but if you don't, go to that video, come back whenever you learn, okay? So you're going to cop that card, just like this, okay? And you're going to bring this down and place it in your pocket. And what you're going to do is be like, and he was always in there, okay? He was always in his castle. And you're just going to kind of shake the box. And seeing as how cards are already in there, there's obviously going to be sound. So they hear something in the box, and that's having enough misdirection for you to place this cop card into your pocket before they see anything happen, okay? So you've copped that card, it's in your pocket. What you're going to do, you're going to do something called floppy shuffle. It looks a little something like this, okay? And I just drop a card, I'll pick it up in a second. It looks a little something like this, okay? And what you would probably think for you non-magicians out there, it probably looks like I just mixed it up. There's a complete mess of the deck, but this is actually what I've done. Half the cards are facing one way, and half the cards are facing the other direction, okay? So that's basically all I just did when I was doing that. Because if you look closely, look. I'm taking it, I'm flipping it over, putting another group, flipping it over, grabbing another group, flipping it over, grabbing another group, flipping it over, grabbing another group. You do it and you'll see pretty much. It's just going in this kind of a state. It's not going into a mixed up. For any person who's never seen cards, magic, or anything, they would swear that you just mixed up the deck in a completely mixed up, crazy like state, okay? But really, this is what you have it in, okay? So what you're going to be like is, look, they were completely mixed up. You're going to grab closer to the top, and you can show that some cards were facing like this. You can grab this side, show that some cards are facing this way. Just grab closer to the bottom. And now you're going to notice there's a natural gap in between the cards, because most of the time when you dribble cards, shuffle them, they're all going to all be bowed in the same direction. So whenever you mix them up like that, there's going to be kind of this little gap showing where, see, they're all bowing this way, but when there's that gap that's showing you, look, this is where the cards meet. This is where the separation is. Because all I have to do is now I have to turn this over. And they're all back to normal. And the way I do that is I'm showing, look, the cards are mixed up right here. And you're going to grab right at that gap. Okay? And before this trick, if you don't think there's enough of a bow, bend the cards so there will be a bow. Okay? And there will be a natural gap. So look, and be like, look, the cards this way, they're all that way. They don't know which way is their left from their right, they're up from their down. And when you do this, you're kind of losing track of which way the card was, and you're going to flip it over just like that. So you just flip the pack, and now you've literally just put all the cards back the way they were. Okay, so you've got the cards all back normal. You're way too far ahead for them to even know what you're up to next. So you're going to take the box, and seeing as how the flap was this way to show it empty, now they can see a card this way. And check it out. You naturally have that little thing here, right, where the thumb can go, where you can easily unfold it. So you're going to grab right there and grab those two cards as one and be like, look. And then, you know, the King of Spades eventually died, and the King of Hearts took over, and he was a much better king, okay? And you're holding that really tight so that, because you have a double here, you don't want it to come undone, okay? You're going to take this double, drop it on top, and then take it back off. And what you've just done is you just dropped that blank card off on top of the deck, just like that. So it looks like you just made a king appear. You know, the King of Spades turned to the King of Hearts is what it looks like. Now you're going to flip this over and show all the cards, or all the people, went back to normal in a completely restored, better place. And you're not going to spread all the way because you don't really want them to see that blank card. So you're just going to spread about like that. And that's enough for them to get the basic idea. You're going to square it all up, and you're going to cop that card. So you're holding it this way, you're just going to cop that blank card. And what you're going to do is you're going to spread these cards out as you place this card in your pocket. Okay, so that's another bit of misdirection to hide from the fact that you're placing a card in your pocket, okay? And you kind of want to turn your body too, not where you're going to flash the card. Here, let me try and explain it. Not where you're going to flash the card, because like if you're facing this way, they can see it. But where they aren't really going to be staring at your pockets. And again, spread out for misdirection and just try and get this in your pocket as quickly as possible, okay? So, not this card, but that's just my example. But that's what you would be wanting to do with the blank card and the King of Spades, okay? So that is the trick, guys. Again, like I always say, if you didn't understand something, go back into the performance, or go back to the tutorial and try and learn what I did. Or just, comment down below asking me questions, okay? So, that was the trick, guys, okay? So, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I really like that trick. I just came up with this trick on the spot. I'm like, I got to teach a trick for the YouTube, and I just kind of came up with that little idea. But, yeah, so that's the trick. Like, subscribe, all that. Again, thank you to Gaffed Academy for the shout-out, and I will see you guys in the next video. See you later.